someone who's been indoctrinated into a particular school of thought that is conducive to violence, filled with hate, and taught at an extremely young age to act on that hate. It's one thing if you have strong emotions in life and you disagree with particular groups of people, but it's another thing to want to kill them. It's another thing to want to kill innocent people symbolically to further a political agenda. And worse of all is they're willing to kill you to make a political statement when in fact you may have nothing to do with being opposed to them in any way.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. My name's Chow, and today we're going to talk about Islamophobia. That's Islamophobia. Now you might ask, what does that even mean? Well, it's fear or prejudice against Muslims or Islam, particularly for political prowess. Now you may ask, where did this even come from? Well, it all started with a man named George W. Bush, who used Muslims and Islam religion to progress his political agenda, particularly to kill people. Since then, a stereotype of terrorism has grown against Muslims and people of Islam, which has only worsened with people like Trump. So now, in American culture, most Americans contain a negative view about Islam or Muslims in particular. 61% to be exact, and that was in 2011. And considering recent attacks and growing terrorism and groups like ISIS, that percentage has only had to have gone up. We decided to figure out, is this really true? Do most people really hold that much of a prejudice against Muslims? And is that stereotype really ingrained in their mind? So we decided to find out ourselves and take it to the streets of downtown Santa Cruz.
Middle Eastern, radical Islam, and destruction.
Everywhere you look, they're everywhere.
Really? That's crazy.
I mean, yeah. It depends where you're from. It depends how you look at it. So it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. A terrorist can look like anyone, can be anyone. That's the correct answer. Unfortunately, a lot of the terrorists that have been terrorizing my people, the Jews, have been Arab terrorists. So oftentimes, that's what they look like. In the Middle East.
Okay.
Donald Trump. I think a lot of people's view of terrorists comes from racism and from Islamophobia and from the idea that a terrorist looks a certain way instead of a terrorist acts a certain way.
The media definitely, seeing pictures of terrorists all over the news, they all, to me, look similar.
Islamophobia has taken hold because of a number of different social and institutional factors. For starters, the media is a major factor in spreading this anti-Muslim agenda. In his recent presidential campaign, Donald Trump played on America's fears of radical Islamic terrorists and used it to drive his campaign.
Should there be a database system that tracks the Muslims here in this country?
There should be a lot of systems beyond database. We should have a lot of systems. And today you can do it. But right now we have to have a border, we have to have strength, we have to have a wall, and we cannot let what's happening to this country happen.
But that's something your White House would like to implement.
Oh, I would certainly implement that.
Sure, Jan.
The New York Times reported that coverage relating to Islam or Muslims receives more negative attention than cancer, alcohol, and cocaine. Out of the top 25 words associated with Islam or Muslims in American media, none of them are positive. As a result of this fear, the rate of hate crimes against Muslims in the U.S. has spiked dramatically since before 9/11. Discrimination can also be seen in airports, mainly because of the nature of the September 11th attacks. The TSA's so-called Behavior Detection Program targets Middle Eastern, Black, and Hispanic passengers. One TSA manager spoke out, saying his orders were to subject certain individuals to additional screening based on racial criteria. In a recent study over the course of a year, More than 170,000 men from 24 predominantly Muslim countries were fingerprinted and interviewed. There are still 83,000 individuals registered and contained within the National Security Entry-Exit Registration System, and none of them produced a single terrorist conviction.
I'm gonna have to pat you down, dog. Free of all explosives.
I mean, shit. I mean,